Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel English Fluency Lab, where I help you improve your English language skills. Friends, in this video, I'm going to cover phrases that make you sound weak. Now, if you use these phrases at your workplace or even in your personal life, you come across as somebody who's not very confident and somebody who cannot be trusted with responsibilities, right? So it's very important that you use the right sentences and the right phrases to come across as a confident person. Right? So I'm going to cover 3 to 4 situations and I'm going to tell you what you should not be saying and what you should be saying in these situations. But before that, let's start with a quick background as to what I mean by phrases that make you sound weak. Now, friends, we have the habit of throwing around words recklessly, often using phrases that make us sound less confident, unsure, and weak. The words we choose to communicate impacts how others perceive us. Do they find us as manipulative or genuine? Rude or kind, aggressive or assertive, and credible or untrustworthy. So you see the importance of words, friends, that the words which you use, people may perceive you as all these with all these qualities. Let's move ahead. Now, what are the dangers of weak communication, right? People may not take your ideas seriously if they sense doubt and hesitation in your voice. Now, if people feel that you don't sound confident, you are hesitating, right? They may not take your ideas very seriously if you're sitting in a corporate meeting or if you're part of a group. You may be passed up for opportunities if your words demonstrate you aren't ready to take up more responsibilities. Another dangerous scenario to be in. And others may question your expertise when you invite unnecessary debate, right? So those are the dangers of weak communication, friends. Let's move on. Now, even small changes in your phrasing can significantly impact how others respond to you. Now, you don't have to make significant changes. Okay, we are talking about small changes in your vocabulary, in your phrases, which can make you sound confident. Your communication style is habitual, and the more you speak a certain way, the more automatic it becomes. These unintentional patterns that distort your messaging turn autopilot when you don't pay attention to your words or how you come across to others. When we mean by autopilot, if you keep using a certain language, certain phrases, they just come out automatically from your mouth and you don't realize that people are perceiving you in a certain way. So friends, avoid these language patterns that make you sound uncertain, passive, and weak and replace it with stronger communication. Right? Now let's get started with the scenarios. Let's start with uncertainty and doubt. Now listen to these sentences. I think we should go with this plan. Maybe this will work. I feel like this might be a good idea. I'm not sure, but I think this strategy might work. Now, friends, if you carefully listen to these sentences, does the person who is using these sentences sound very confident? Sound like somebody who can be given more responsibilities, who can be taken seriously? No, these are sentences which make you sound weak. Now, instead of that, what you can say is that we should go with this plan because, and then complete the sentence. I recommend this approach because, this is a strong idea because, this strategy will work because, right? So instead of these 4 weak sentences, you can use these sentences which may sound much more confident. Let's look at the difference. I think we should go. We should go. Okay, the word think has been eliminated. Maybe this will work. I recommend this approach. Okay, the word maybe has been eliminated out here, which makes you sound weak. I feel like this might be. This is a strong idea because. I feel like. That again makes you sound very weak. I'm not sure. This strategy will work because, right? So I am not sure has been eliminated. And instead of that, you can say this strategy will work because. So friends, that's all about uncertainty and doubt. Now let's move on to the second scenario about over-apologizing. Now this can be one very dangerous scenario. If you are in the habit of over-apologizing and apologizing too frequently, again you might come across as a very weak person, somebody who's not confident. Let's look at these sentences. Sorry to bother you, but I feel terrible asking you for this. Sorry for not responding sooner. My bad. I'm a fool for not seeing it sooner. Forgive me, please. I feel terrible for missing you in the invite. Now, again, if you hear these sentences, friends, they are all sentences where a person is over-apologizing, right? He's admitting his mistake. Everybody commits mistake, but there's no need to over-apologize, right? Now, instead of these, what can you use? You can use, do you have a moment to discuss something? Sorry to bother you, but instead of that, say, do you have a moment to discuss something? I feel terrible asking you for this. I'd like to ask about. I was busy earlier, but I'm now free to discuss. Sorry for not responding sooner. I was busy earlier, but I'm now free to discuss. Now, does that sound more confident? Yes, it does. I learned a very important lesson by not attending to the problem at the right time. Right? And the last one, I acknowledge that I need to be more careful while sending invites. Now, look at this sentence. Forgive me, please. Right? You're over apologizing out here. Here also you're admitting your mistake. But look at how you've changed your words. I acknowledge that I need to be more careful when sending invites. So friends, these are these sentences you can use to apologize and to admit your mistake, but at the same time sound more confident. These sentences make you sound very, very weak, right? So that's all about over apologizing. Let's move on to tentative and non-committal kind of sentences. Let's look at these. I'll try to get that done. Hopefully we can finish on time. I'll try to make time for that, but I'm really busy. Right? So you're kind of tentative and you're not committing, right? Now, instead of these, what can you use? Okay. So why don't you try and think what the sentence will be out here? Let's give it a couple of seconds. Instead of I'll try to get that done, you can say, I will get that done. Doesn't that sound more confident? Hopefully we can finish on time. Hopefully, eliminate the word hopefully. And what can you use? We will finish on time. I'll try to make time for that. Take out the words I'll try. And what can you say? I won't be able to take this on right now, but I can revisit it next week. Right? So if you're using these tentative and non-committal kind of sentences, replace them with these kind of sentences where you sound much more confident. Right? Let's move on to the next one. Minimizing language. Right? This is just a small idea, but I only have a quick suggestion. This is probably not important, but this is kind of silly, but now again, friends, if you hear these sentences, they make you sound very, very weak, right? They make you sound very underconfident. What can you say instead of these sentences? So instead of this is just a small idea, but say, I have an idea that could help, right? You're not saying just a small idea. I have an idea that could help. I only have a quick suggestion. Here's a suggestion to consider, right? I only have. Right? Instead of I only, here's a quick suggestion to consider. This is probably not important, but this is important because, right? Last one, this is kind of silly, but I believe that, right? You're not doubting yourself out here. You're saying, I believe that. See how by just changing the sentences, by sending the same message in a different way and using different words, you are sounding much more confident. So that's all about minimizing language. Okay. Let's move on to seeking approval and validation. Does that make sense? I don't know. What do you think? Would you be okay with me leading this project? Right? Now, friends, these sentences again, where you're kind of seeking approval and validation from others, again, can be very dangerous. Right? People may not give you more responsibilities because you're kind of sounding hesitant. Now, what can you use instead of that? Does that make sense? Let me know if you have any questions. I don't know what you think. This is the best approach based on my research. Would you be okay with me leading this project? I'll take the lead on this project. Right? So you see how by just changing the few words, you are sending the same message but sounding much more confident. A person using these words will be taken much more seriously and will be considered for promotions, considered for higher responsibilities than a person using these kind of sentences. Right? So that was all about seeking approval and validation. Right? So friends, those were the 5 scenarios. What do you think about this particular video? Have you been using any of these sentences without realizing? Well, if the video made sense to you, please give me a like. Please do subscribe to my channel and please do press the bell because I keep coming up with videos like these to help you improve your English and your communication skills. And friends, if you would like me to cover any particular topic, please do mention in the comment box because sometimes I just run out of ideas as to what kind of videos you people like and what videos I should post. So please help me with your suggestions. Okay, thank you so much and I will see you in the next one.